Okay, welcome back. So this is the second part of the service design. Last time, what I did was to create a simple application that would allow me to generate a random number, and I would use that to basically create an application that I could use to play Dungeons and Dragons. The idea is I want a place where I can roll my dice, and it seems very simple, but I'm actually going to make it grow into a proper application. Um, so I left last time that we had a few things working. So we had a local service working. And what we're trying to do this time is to decouple everything so that the actual number generation happens somewhere else. Because the idea is that I want to create a service which is able to generate numbers based on the client's request or the client's needs. Um, First of all, I would say let's save what I had from last time. So I'm gonna just add everything. So I'm gonna commit my code. Um, DiceMaster service. Okay, and then I'm gonna push it. Yes, that should be done. Okay. So what I'm gonna do this time, I want to change how the service model works. So I'm gonna move everything about the rolling outside of this. I want to make it into a service, into a microservice, which is really somewhere else. Microservices is a style of design where each thing is so small that it only does one thing. And if that's the case, we can take advantage of functions, which are really cheap and really fast to develop. So let's first of all branch out so that I can divide this work into separate things. So I'm going to call the next branch get checkout minus b. I'm going to call it FaaS. Okay, so I'm into my new branch just to check git branch so I can see my two branches at the moment. So how am I going to do this? Let's start building it. And this is really quick. This is why function as a service is a great way to develop microservices. Let's move on to my account. So this is my Cloud Function account for IBM, and let's start creating one. So it's gonna be an action. What's it gonna do? I'm gonna call it DiceMaster again because it sounds pretty cool. Actually, I'm getting attached to the name now. I'm gonna create it. Yep. Let's see how long it takes us to actually make it. Okay, so we have everything here. Let's have a look. We need to recreate the function. I'm going to be lazy and I'm just going to copy it from my code. There you go. We had it from a previous one. Max. Yes. Okay, so let's var random rolled equal random number, and we're passing the value. So now, first of all, we need to get the parameter from the user. So that will come through the params. So this is going to be params dot number. Random number, yes, and then I just have to return it. That's all I have to do. Now remember that if I want to expose it, I need to put it into this particular body function, body. It has to be in a body object. So just need to make a small change here. So I need to return a body object. So within this body object, I'm gonna have exactly what I was returning before. So random rolled is okay. I'm gonna change this just to not confuse people. So random number. I already have that number. It's pretty hard when you're running out of names. Random number generated. I'm really running out of ideas here of what to call them. You know what? I'm just gonna call it rolled. I think that's what we had before. The rolled, and then random rolled is rolled. Let's see. Should have everything really. So let's save it. And now let's just invoke it. So to invoke it, I need to say actually what I want to invoke. So these are my parameters. And my parameter is going to be number equal 5. This is a JSON, so he will want this. Okay. Let's see. Let's try to invoke it. Now the first time generally actually explodes for some reason, but let's give it a go. Okay, it didn't go through. Did I do something wrong? Or can I just try to? Okay. Now, as I said, oh no, it was working before. I guess it was just updating. So yeah, it's working properly. I'm just gonna invoke it a few more times. Yep, you can see that that's working. Now we need to make this accessible from the outside. So I'm gonna turn this into a web action. So I'm gonna say endpoint. I'm gonna make it, yep, enable web action. I'm going to save it, and now it generated a public URL. So I'm gonna try this out. Let's see where it takes me. Of course, now it's not working because I'm not passing a parameter. So I should probably handle that in a better way. So let's edit just here. Number equal 20. There you go. Okay, so properly working. So all we need to do now is, let's go back here. Let's copy this and let's put it back into our application. Now, let's see, dev. Okay, this is where we are. So realistically, we don't really need the server anymore. But how do we do this in a nice, clean way? Generally, what we do is we put a URL at the top. Like generally, we have like a configuration file with all those things. So URL remote role equal, and this is a string, of course. Yep, that's what it is. So realistically now, what we need to do is just change this if everything goes well. So we just need to tell him where the new URL is, and we're gonna pass that URL remote role. Let's just have a look before I do anything else. Okay, so let's have a look. So I actually made a change. I'm gonna look back. I think I changed the name, so I probably just need to change this. Yes, I changed the name by mistake. I called it random rolled. Okay, so I just need to change this because it will reflect what it's on the other side. So now let's go and actually try it and see where it takes us. I think it should be fine. I'm very confident. I'm just gonna reload it. All right, so moment of truth. Works. Yes. And there you go. So now we have our service, which you guys can use if you guys need a service which generates a number. No, that's all. That's how easy it was. So why we do this again, using the cloud functions is a great way to save time and to also really generate code base. it takes so little to achieve something with a cloud function instead of writing everything else. I did this in a couple of minutes, but you can do very complex things. The next part will be to manage rooms with people in it. But anyway, get working. Bye bye.